I am not Mark Secchia, and this is not Silva.
Now, I've known you through my father for a long time,
Yeah.
and you've been here at many other brands around town, and I've been fortunate to know you as Werner.
Yeah.
But it is the correct pronunciation of your name is,
Werner
but the last name, the family name?
Absenger.
Absenger. I've heard it called the Secchia Culinary Institute, and I've also heard it called the Secchia Institute for Culinary Education. It's the
That's
second
it.
one?
That's it. Yeah.
Is there a short way to say it?
There is, and there is actually a pretty good story behind that why we are not using that officially. When we did a big event after the naming ceremony of the Secchia Institute for Culinary Education, everybody referred to it as size, right? And even in press releases and things like that. But that doesn't do anything for name recognition. So your dad thought anytime we print it somewhere, we should use the full name, and only internally we use size. So that's the story behind that, and it makes sense, right? Because you want people to find you, right? Size nobody finds on the internet, right? So
You know, we're going to learn a lot about the students and what they do, but I'm curious to know, what is the largest whole animal that a graduate of the Institute can break down? Was it beyond a fish? Is it beyond a pig? Like, what is the largest animal they'll be able to do that?
half pigs. I think we have done half pigs, but that's on occasion only. They definitely break down whole fish.
When a half pig comes in, is it like the top half versus the bottom half? How do you do it? How do you make half a pig?
You know what? You're stumping me. We are here in the Secchia Piazza, the latest addition, Your Dad's Legacy. He wanted to have really a space that reflects where students and faculty and people can come together and bring all the talent in from the world, but also recognize that we create a lot of culinary talent that goes out into the world.
And when was this start?
So that we started planning that in 2017, 2018, and then during COVID, actually, it was under construction. And October 2022, we actually had the official opening ceremony, which you were here for, yeah. And so I thought it was appropriate to start the tour here in this space because it's representative of what your family is all about, which is hospitality and welcoming people and doing all those things. So we have a lot of meetings in here, and then we have also events. Our students, we use it for classroom facility when we do banquets and catering classes. So as you'll see, beautiful space.
Very cool.
Now we are walking into the Heritage Restaurant. So when we built the Secchia Piazza, we actually remodeled the restaurant as well. More trendy, more up to date, you know, lots of wood ceilings and wood designs and things like that. So currently the restaurant is set up for a lobster dinner tonight. So we have a lobster ball tonight. It's one of our classes who puts it on. So that's the banquets and catering class. We have two classes. One is cooking the food and one is serving the food. Like you can see, we have classes that serve wine. So we have wine coolers, and then all this is brand new and it's absolutely fantastic. So let's walk back in the kitchen where they actually do two classes. In this restaurant during lunchtime, we serve about 60 people. So it's all student run. Food service open to the public Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We have a class on Monday that preps for it. So we have the classes Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And the reason we are doing that is because the industry needs employees for weekends, right? So we try to design our curriculum so we don't have any Friday, Saturday, or Sunday classes. Yeah, so that's where the action is happening for the international cuisine class and the banquets and catering class.
I was looking through, and I remember you used to work at Cygnus.
Uh-huh.
And I was reading some article about you, and it called it Cygnus 27.
Uh-huh.
What's the difference in the two names?
When I first started, it was Cygnus. And then we did remodeling and things like that, and also a rebranding. So it became Cygnus 27, 27 signifying the 27th floor.
Got it right!
At the Amway Grand Plaza Hotel.
We were guessing, and that was my guess. Today you showed us the lovely Secchia Piazza, and it has this stained glass hat. And I heard that originally it had the blue and yellow colors of Grand Rapids Community College, and that my father asked you to remove the blue from it because he did not want it to be associated with the University of Michigan. Is that really true?
That's the first time I hear that. As we were exploring the concept of the dome, your dad was thinking literally about memories of Italy, right? And so he thought about the landscapes and bringing in the colors of the landscapes. So the greens of the wineries and things like that, the yellows of the sunsets and things like that. So that's how it all became. Because again, the idea here is that we bring people together and we send them out in the world. So it's reflective of what your dad thought would be showcasing the place itself, including the colors. Let's peek our heads in here. Mike Kidder and Stephanie Smith.
Hi, I'm Mark.
Stephanie.
Hi, Stephanie. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Mike and Stephanie are responsible for the cleanliness of this place. You know, food service facility, culinary education, we got to set a standard for the industry.
So is that all dry storage back there?
That's our dry storage, yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
I think I'm holding on to about 50,000 back here. So I count all this by hand every single month. And that way we're ready when each classroom needs something. But we hold on to quite a bit between here, our freezer, our cooler, our thaw cooler, just to make sure that, yeah, we're ready. We also like to set a good standard of this is how your dry storage should look. These are how these things should look. So when students come through, they know what standard we're expecting them to set themselves at, what bar to set themselves at.
So, Mark, turn around.
Oh,
I
the world's
think-
biggest paella pan? What is this?
I think, exactly. So I think for one of
This is
your...
how you cook on it?
Yeah. So I think for one of your events down at the new location, we should figure something out.
Dude, look at the size of that thing.
So I'm 6 foot tall, so it's about 6.5, 7 feet wide. We held actually a training for World Central Kitchen, and they do some work where they feed workers during disasters and things like that, and populations during disasters. And so most of our staff is actually trained in their program. So if there ever were a disaster in Grand Rapids, we would be able to help provide
Is that a
food.
certification or it's just knowledge?
It's a certification, but it's, quick certification. In this classroom, we do skill development. So that would be one of the first culinary classes a culinary student would take.
Would you rent this out for a cooking competition?
We would have to talk about that. We have done that before. That's it's a greenhouse. We're doing microgreens in here. We teach students how to grow. So micro sorrel, micro spinach for plate garnishes and salads and things like that. So in this classroom, students learn all about charcuterie. So they make sausages, cure meats, break down small animals to edible parts and things like that. We have a smoker in there. Obviously, every classroom is equipped with refrigeration and freezer space, so come in here. So right now we have students presenting, so come on in. Chef Sean, you want to explain what this class is all about?
So this is Principles of Food Science. So right now we're learning about ancient grains and how they cook and some of their nutritional values and how they can be used in dishes that are more palatable to our industry and our customers. Nutritional value is a big part of it because a lot of these grains have a lot of proteins and a lot of good calories that we need that may be missed in certain diets, especially like vegan diets. So these are really good supplements for those dishes.
By the way,
Oh, wow. I never even knew that was there.
Dad gave some money for this specific space. That's how it all started out. So it's called the Pietro and Regina Amphitheater, and it's one of our demo classrooms.
My father was Peter Secchia, the one that kind of helped get this off the ground. Those are my great-grandparents back there. We've been under construction for over a year. So we're putting a lot into it, and it'll be really, you'll hear about us in the spring.
Oh.
Silva, S-I-L-V-A. Well, thank you guys for letting us interrupt.
Thank you
Carry
all.
on. I was trying to dig a little dirt. I said, can I find a fun story, something unique about Werner? Then I have to look at my sheet to get the correct name. Steve, is it Naraki? That you've worked with in the kitchen. Steve says that he recalls that Gerhard, everyone knows Gerhard Schmid, and Joseph Huber used to refer to you as the professor because you were always studying food and wellness. Is it true that you once requested to hypnotize your kitchen employees to practice your wellness studies on them?
Yes.
And people agreed to that.
No. So my PhD is in mind-body medicine. I really practice mindfulness every day. Hypnosis is a way to help people on their wellness journey. So for example, my PhD, I did the regular hypnosis and the sham hypnosis to see if there's a difference between those two things and the effect on our breast cancer survivors' immune system. And I investigated salivary interleukin 13. So it's a cytokine immune system messenger, and it has to do with if it's elevated, then we think people are more stressed and things like that. So in preparation for that, I asked to help him not to smoke. I mean, I ask people, so I'm doing this, you want to come and we'll see if we can get you to quit smoking. And so I did it actually in a medical office in Grand Haven. And 2 people quit smoking out of 10.
Wow.
270 some students are enrolled currently.
And how many years does that span, or is it just a one-year program?
It depends. If they're enrolled in the certificate program, if they're full-time students, they can do it in a year.
Okay.
If it's the associate's degree, it's definitely a 2-year program.
Okay.
Most of our students, about 70%, are part-time students because they need to work. Mm-hmm. And actually, we have more female students than male students, which is, I think from an industry perspective, it's a very welcome change of demographic. And then the space we are going into now, we teach several classes. So the intro baking class, an advanced pastry class, a cake decorating class, a wedding cake class, and a retail baking class.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so right now we are in the space where we teach the advanced pastry class. And the focus of that is to have students really exposed to how to make really nice, good-looking desserts for restaurants, banquets, and things like that. But every student who earns an associate's degree from us has a minimum of a baking class where they learn how to toast breads, pies, and advanced pastry class where they do desserts.
So I'm Chef Will, and I was a career changer. I first started my career as a financial analyst. So because I was a financial analyst, I treat food in a different way than most chefs do. I'm very analytical, and I'm into the science as well. The stuff that we do here, like over there, we have some ciabatta that is baked. I don't see bread over there. I see money over here. For most bakers, this is a ciabatta. For me, I don't see a ciabatta. I see a dollar sign. We take flour, we take water, we take salt, basic raw ingredients, and we just manipulate it, and we create an asset. So this is what I like to teach my students. How can we be more efficient? How can we take a raw product and create something that we could sell? So to the entree now, I tell my students, I look like a baker, I look like a chef, but I'm not that. I'm a business person. Chef, not only are you need to be aware of how to bake or how to cook, but we're also managers. We manage a team, right? We're accountants. We have to be able to market ourselves. Not only ourselves, I tell students, hey, we have to look like $1 million, right? And then our product has to look like $1 million as well, so we could sell it. Because people are not okay with a ciabatta that's just a ciabatta that's simple. You want to see a ciabatta that looks like something they saw on TV or something they saw on Instagram or something like that. We do everything from scratch, and we spend time not only talking about like the technique, but also we do a lot of demos here. And something that we're like very different than a lot of culinary schools is that we're very hands-on.
Well, I think as a city, we're lucky to have you. I think GRCC is lucky to have you, and of course, the Institute is really, really lucky to have you. Thank you so much for
Thank you so much
the
for
time that
having
you spent
us
with today, and we really appreciate it.
Likewise.